We are. We are
back
and
again.
Then once again, something else happened. It's laptop.
It's okay.
There's
it's
three
right,
ways
though.
to skin a cat. Look, no reason.
So,
but we in here.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Can you? All right. So I apologize for all of the errors. It was we learning this thing. So we are back again. It's your girl Diggs from Who Digs Me, presenting this season Buck Around and Find Out. And we're going to talk about everything and nothing at the same exact time. Because social media really be about nothing, but it be about a lot at the same time. So if you would like to know why I'm doing, if you want to know why I'm doing this, you kind of got to watch the first video because I don't want to repeat myself, not right now. But anyway, we was talking about, before we got into it, we were talking about being flued out. And then I've been getting a lot of videos lately about girls getting flued out and they're not giving up the goods. And then these guys are embarrassing them. That's a red flag for me by itself, but hey, that's just me. And I remember when we got flued out, but it wasn't flued out because in 2003 and 2004, we were either getting on the Greyhounds or, driving.
Right.
We weren't, so we got that car fare, that gas money, the bus money or whatever, I mean, I know people that were getting flued out, but that's where I was at with mine. And then meet this guy through a friend of mine. We end up in Atlanta, right? Pull up to the house. Now we had MapQuest, so we didn't have GPS on the phone. We had MapQuest. And so we get to Atlanta, we get turned around. So I call him. So it's still the same guy because I called them. It's the same guy. And I'm like, it don't look like the same guy. Now it's definitely the same phone number, the same voice, but it's definitely not the same physical guy. As far as I'm concerned, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Like, I'm taking one for the team because I'm with my homegirl. So at this point, I'm like, look, sis, it's going to be a long weekend, but I'll just have to rough it out because, men don't understand that when we meet them, after getting to know them, we kind of put them in a category of, if they're going to get some, they're going to be friends, we want more than that. And they 9 times out of 10 can either talk themselves into the drawers or talk themselves out of the drawers. I don't think that these girls is flying out to set them up in all situations. I think that guys might be corny when they get out there. They change their mind, but that's another time. We're going to get into that deeper. So we get to Atlanta. I pull up. And it wasn't about the weight gain. It wasn't about the weight gain. So he had he had cornrows, which wasn't in the picture that he sent me. That was the first thing. He got cornrows. Then he had 6 inches of red beads. It was a lot of beads. And I'm like, what man has all these beads? And so for me, I'm in the fashion real heavy. It's a turn off. You don't like the picture. You got these cornrows. Hit this white nylon suit on. It was so much going on that I was like, yeah, I'm good on whatever this is.
What just happened? So I'm just gonna be. Why can't I hear?
You can't hear? Wait a minute. Do you have headphones? Hold on 1 second. Let me try something.
I can't hear her. I'm good now.
Can you hear me? I can hear you now too.
Okay. See, somebody had called, so now I just turned notifications off.
Yeah, so if you get a call, it's gonna mess with your mic some kind of way. But you're good now.
Okay. I'm back. Good.
So she can hear. Right. Okay, so
yeah. So you went out when you talked about you ended up in Atlanta back in the day. They had MapQuest. My daddy used to print out all the MapQuest.
Right. So my coworker met this guy. She went to pay. Okay, she was calling to pay her phone bill. Okay. It was her phone bill, cable bill, light bill. I don't know what the bill was, but he lived in Atlanta.
Got it.
And next thing you know, they have a whole romance happening, So he mails her. I think we had MySpace, but I'm not really sure. But he mails her pictures of himself, like, to see what he looks like.
Oh yeah, this is giving late 90s, early 2000s tea.
Like 2004, 2003 maybe.
Yeah,
right?
that's the Black Planet.
So I'm like,
era.
that, oh, you got a friend for my friend type vibe. So I'm like, okay, I'll be and because I was the single girl from from New York that was new to the office, I was like I got a friend for you. And I'm like, that's another show, the blind date experiences. But
yeah,
he looked nice in the picture. So next thing you know, after talking for 2 months, you do have them sexual conversations. You do have them conversations. So that's the reality of it.
2 months. See, I miss them days.
And two people on the phone talking. This is 2004, 2003. Because you got to think. So after the first couple of weeks, you want to see this person, and talking is not enough. So next thing you know, hey, you guys want to come to Atlanta? Now that I think about it, they were really forcing this weekend. But just pay attention to why that's going to make sense at the end of the story. So I'm like, okay, cool. We get to Atlanta. We get turned around. MapQuest was all messed up, and we are in the parking complex, and I see the guy on the phone. It was the white nylon suit, the cornrows, the red beads. I'm never gonna forget the red. It was a lot, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling my friend, like, I'm good. So you just gotta, whatever you're gonna do, I'm here because I'll take one for the team. It's only 24 hours. We're only gonna be here for 2 days.
Right.
You're not gonna kill me. But in my mind, I'm not doing nothing. Like, I'm not doing nothing.
Diddly squat. You there
right.
to
So we get in the house. We get in the house. I want to take a shower and get comfortable. Now, my friend, my homegirl, her dude had 2 kids. He's a single father. Oh, that's so nice. He got his 2 kids. Okay. So now she's being mommy or whatever to them, doing their hair and stuff. And while she's doing their hair, there's a knock at the door. It's a social worker doing a wellness check on the kids. So I'm like, okay. So I go to the bathroom. There's a big jar of Vaseline on the counter. It's lubrication everywhere. There's hair in the sink, and I despise hair in the sink. I despise it. And so in my mind, I'm like, now I gotta get a hotel. This is not working for me. I can't do this. So me and the guy I'm talking to, we go in the room to give the social worker privacy. So we in the room, it's a waterbed in there. Who still has waterbeds? But okay. I'm in Atlanta. I'm stuck at this point. We're on the corner of the waterbed, just rocking. You sit the things be rocking. And he mentions that they sleep in that waterbed together.
Like you and the cousin?
You and the cousin sleep in the water in the water.
Now, the 2 grown men sleep in the waterbed.
Yes, because the 2 kids had their own room on the other side of the house. It was a what you call them, roommate suites, when it's like a room on both sides. And so the kids had their own room in the front. And he said they lived there. So he slept on the couch. You got what you gotta do. So I'm not really judging the house situation. And he was like, "You sleeping here together?" And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready to go. So now it's time for us to get something to eat. So we get something to eat. And I'm so happy. Whatever we wanted to eat, I think it was clothes or something. So when my friend got out the car to go get his food, that's when the plan came together. So we not staying. So apparently it was a setup, because on top of the fact that they were probably on the low, and I'm just speculating because everything that I saw, us coming down to give the illusion to the social worker that he had a girlfriend, he had a girl in the house. That's why he was forced to come down that weekend, because he knew he was going to have a wellness check. I said, how we get here? All this stuff is happening. And so he go inside, he come back from the store, and we're like, we got to go. Like, her nanny or something happened. You going back right now? Yeah, we going back right now. And he was like, so now he's mad at me. Why you don't want to stay? I'm like, it's my girl, like her kids, I gotta go. Like, I drove her. I can't, she can't even get back. We played that card. Within an hour, if not less, we were back on Virginia. Within 24 hours, I was back home. He fumbled the bag. You did not look like what you said. You look back like it was so many things.
Oh, so she was also catfish.
Yeah, we was catfish. We was like probably one of the people catfish. But to the core of it, when I see these guys embarrassing these girls, my thing is, why? Like, that's a red flag. Because why would you want to be with somebody who's, when he don't get his way, is putting you in a video talking about, well, she didn't give me any. That's so corny.
So it is corny. So I'm not going to go against that it's corny, right?
Okay.
But
I
was always raised on, you don't take certain gifts if you don't expect certain things to be given.
See, that's the assumption I'm going with.
I also feel like, why is anybody going on a trip to see somebody that they're not that interested in to do anything with? Now, I'm not saying every time you have a long distance relationship that on the first meet you should be having sex. That's not what I'm saying. But in most of these cases, it's really this fantasy of being Carisha, right? Which Carisha's giving something up to Diddy to have her allowance, to get flued out and to get wine and dine and to get a shopping spree, a bag, or whatever the case may be. There's a trade-off.
It gotta be.
So my question is, are we not thinking about the trade-off? Most of the time, men do not flaunt money unless they want something.
But here's the thing: can you really handle the trade-off?
And that's the thing. Like, I think, you know, social media has sensationalized this sugar baby life, right?
Yes. It comes with a cost.
Oh, you know, cash at me. All of that is cute until it's time to put it into practice.
Right.
And so at the same time, as much as it's corny for these men to expose women when they don't get their way, it's even corny for you to go on a trip and expect someone
to buy
you a YSL.
That's the next point. For me personally, that's the next point I'm going to make. Be prepared for the backlash.
Be prepared. Don't even go on the trip, sis. Like,
wait, first of all, my thing is this. I'll be the one that hustle the trip out of you and don't be at the airport, but be in the same state somewhere. I feel like if you're going to take it that level, be prepared for what that looks like when you get there, or have the money to at least get back home. Because see, when we was doing that back in the day, we didn't have digital tickets. We had to print a ticket out, and you couldn't just go online and switch a ticket out. Once you got that ticket printed, you was good.
Or even one, just let him fly to you. He ain't got to be at your house. You can make him do everything in your city. Get the hotel, fly into the city, meet him at the restaurant.
At a disadvantage when you go to their. You are at a disadvantage when you go to their places because
you are. Out there. So then he can't be disappointed if he flies up to you and nothing happens. He got a nice room. He can go sightseeing. He can buy some more coochie out at whatever event he's gonna be at. But I just don't understand this culture of wanting someone to spend excessive amounts of money on you because you're cute and may have a good personality.
I did see this one time, one video. The guy said that she did not look like her picture. So he didn't.
Well, that's very common these days because
he didn't show her face, but he was like, "You got to go. Like, you can't stay here." And I don't think he canceled her ticket, but he was like, "Yo." He was even on Dr. Phil. He was like, "No, that's not what I paid for."
And he's within his right, though. Like, you can't be catfishing people and taking their money and thinking that they're supposed to have a big heart because that y'all had this connection via DM.
First of all, this one girl's suitcase was so big. I was like, how long were you trying to stay, sis? First of all, it wasn't even a carry-on. It was a 28-inch. It was bad. I was like, where's she going with this big old luggage? How long are you trying to stay for? And if you are going to play these games, if you know that's the end goal for you, as a woman, you have to have your ends covered. You have to have that money for that flight. You have to have somebody out there. You have to have somebody that's got your back if stuff go awry. Because he could have been crazy. He could beat you up.
I mean, all of those things. I just want our girls not to go. Like, I feel like meet on neutral territory.
Right.
I just want women to be in this position. If you're going to have a long distance, whatever, invest in yourself first until you get to a place where you actually like the person for them to buy you a ticket. I just don't think it's appropriate for a first meet and greet for a man to fly you anywhere. And you think that, okay, well, you flew me because I'm cute, so I'm gonna sit here and be cute. That's not how men think.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's not how that works at all.
The
but I think that
know that
society allows that.
No, the groupies
because people thinking about Diddy.
Celebrity.
You're not Diddy. You're not Diddy.
But the thing is, even if he was Diddy, the groupies have sex night one. Why do you think Future got 10 baby mamas? Because they know the trade-off. In order for me to be flued out, I gotta lay it down this night so that he wants to see me again in the morning. So again, you fantasize about
that's not even guaranteed that he gonna want to see you in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. So we fantasize about this sugar baby life. Sugar babies in those contexts have been putting out coochie from get. If you're trying to be the high-priced one, then you bait that situation. You're not really being flued out off rip. What you're doing is you're sitting in the Four Seasons, you're having high tea, you look like you're worth $1 million, and you meet ballers on the yachts. And then after a cute conversation, get flued out. They ain't just doing that off rip unless you're on sugarbaby.com. There are apps.
Right.
I've seen sugar daddies. And even that requires a certain level, because real wealth ain't doing that. They not doing it blindly. No. They're gonna meet you in person.
And they're not gonna hand over a whole bunch of cash either. They're not gonna do that.
They're not. And I always tell people, you want a wealthy man, it's about positioning. You're not meeting them on Instagram talking about getting flued out. You're sitting at the Congressional Black Caucus in maybe a rented dress from Saks. I don't know, a dress you're going to take back in the morning, pretending like you know what you're dealing with.
Faking until you make it. Did you see that? Right. I saw another one in reference to that. The guy took the girl out and he said he had a good night. And then in the other picture, she said she got some lame ass to trick on her or something. And it was at like Texas Roadhouse or something like that. It won't even it won't Ruth Chris or nothing. And in my mind, I'm like, so for you scamming him at Texas Roadhouse?
But I don't know who's raising these new ones, but
I was like, Texas Roadhouse?
The scam culture is very heavy, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's corny all across the board. Like, as a woman,
right,
you should have more scruples, right, than to want somebody to fly you out coach. Because, baby, if I'm getting flued out business class select or something, you ain't flying me out on coach.
First of all, what's that? We're not doing Spirit. We're not doing
JetBlue.
We're not doing Spirit. We're not doing Frontier. I'm Delta and American Air only.
I'm off the plane with a sign up with my name because I'm being escorted to whatever place I'm staying. I need high class life.
But I feel like it's because they don't feel that, they don't value that self. They don't value that within themselves to even think they can ask for that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really based on where you feel like you deserve, and then you base it off of stuff that's not real. Because for reality, social media is not real. We're selling an illusion of stuff.
Absolutely not. And we're selling an illusion. People to remember, because like a lot of folks be like, yes, Carisha, get the bag. She has her own bag, guys. Right. See, I think that's the other part that folks forget in the equation. She don't need Diddy's money, but I mean, why spend your own if someone's offering?
And he's gonna fly me to Italy on a yacht, first class outfit.
She could do it by herself. See, a lot of these girls are being flued out and have nothing to call home. Like, they have.
And then you crying, can you give me a plane ticket? How you even get out there? And you ain't tell nobody.
And that's if it's not staged, but we can get into that in another conversation. But y'all, I'm like, no, these are bosses being spoiled. Y'all want to be Beyonce. Beyonce doesn't need Jay-Z's money. Remember, at the end of the day, she was already together when
making her own money. She don't need him for that.
She don't need him for that.
But I think we got away from.
Hot girl Meg don't need Party. If anything, she got more net worth than Party. But he gonna treat her like everything and more. Carisha is a city girl. She don't need Diddy's money. But if he wants to be a billionaire and give her a $250,000 allowance a month to escort her and be his beard, who are we to stop that?
Because I would do that.
I'm not even gonna sit here and say I'm above being anybody's pretty woman.
What you said? You want to You want to buy money into my account? By all means.
By all
what
means.
time you need me to be ready?
Right. When do you, what color do you need my hair at that point? But I'm not going to do it and you're my end all be all. See,
right.
And these girls are flying out. If these are not skits, this is the end all be all. Like, I couldn't afford to buy the plane ticket anyway, but I'm going to have him fly me out and do what? Because I've spent my last on my body work, and he's going to buy me a handbag and make me a sugar
Because
daddy.
For me, if I'm not even attracted to you, I'm at the point where I can't even fake that no more. I can't even pretend for the sake of anything to be anybody's company. I don't have that in me no more. But no, I cannot do it. I'm just in a different place. Like, yo, I just can't do it. So I know if I know I'm not really feeling your vibe over the phone, FaceTime or whatever, I'm not getting ready to go to your town and be with the heebie-jeebies looking crazy.
Then, I think even on a deeper level, it's just like, would you want that type of master manipulation over you as a woman? Would you want to be in the position where literally you're at the beck and call of a man because he's buying you? And you can't really afford to do nothing yourself. Like, right. And then you'll be the first one, like, he's a narcissist, but it's like, but you played into
right into it. You open your
right into it. So what does that make you? Because these situations don't just force themselves upon us.
Not at all. They are curated
no one's
over
forcing
time.
you to get on the plane to go see a stranger that said, I'm gonna show you a different life 600 miles
get out there
away.
Looking crazy. Like, what? That's not it.
Selling
the dream. But outside of that, I adore you. I've been following you forever. People say they want to get in this conversation. Y'all better.
I'm just listen.
I'm just saying, like, but it's far and few women that think that way. That think that this is like okay, like, really, sis. So you went that far, and
I know people to have tried to get married, right? Because a person could take care of them, and then they end up miserable and divorced and everything else. And I'm like, reality TV really makes y'all think that this is something amazing.
Lex, somebody said they just need the bag. They just want the bag. They
just want the bag, but the sex sucks. The guy, you don't like him. You're not fully attracted to him. He's not a nice person, but you were down and out and you thought that this was the means to an end. And then
that will get you every time.
You get stuck and then you're bitter. Your whole relationship, marriage, let's say you give him 3 or 4 kids and you haven't been working, whatever the case may be, and now you're bitter. I'm like, I don't really believe that that's what God's intent was for happiness.
No, I don't think so either. But see, I'm at the point now when I know that it's not working, whether you have money or not, I'm out.
Yes.
I don't even try to figure stuff out no more. Like, no. I was dating a guy. I was at the movies, right? He texted me. He was like, hey, what you doing? I'm at the movies. He said, what are you doing after? So while I'm in the process of getting ready to text him about what I'm about to do after, so you want another date? Like, it was like I said, wait, what? How we get that? How we escalate to that point?
Right.
That was a red flag on so many levels. I was like, this not gonna work. This not gonna work because how do you, first of all, we're dating. So this is none of your business. But if I'm taking my time out at the movie theater to reply to you, I have an interest in you. But you spazzing out for no reason. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Yeah, because that's already a sign of jealousy and insecurity and inferiority. You don't want to be in a situation where, and I dated someone like this when I was super young, where they want to isolate you from family and friends. That's a recipe for disaster.
But I think that comes from us not knowing ourselves either. That comes from not knowing ourselves, our worth, because we all at some point in time been these women. It's been at some point in time, it's been us.
Every woman has walked down this road once or twice.
But I feel like at what point do we be okay? Like, yeah, this a no. Like, this a no. This not gonna work.
It takes a lot of confidence to walk in your singleness and not let the thought of loneliness, because I still think loneliness is a thought process, because you can choose to be lonely or you can choose to fill your life with substance, and that substance
Correct.
does not have to be wrapped up in a intimate relationship with the man, or whichever your sexual preference is. I think a lot of people just need to not feel lonely, so they just stuff their lives with people,
right?
Because they're not comfortable just being single,
and they don't know how to be alone.
They don't, and they just take toxic from this to that. They just carry all the bags, like Erykah Badu said, bag lady. You carry
The
everything
one
with
reference
you.
I always use this one reference, and then we're gonna get into you. I want people to know who you are. The movie Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts, right? When Richard Gere went to the town and he interviewed all the exes, the one question he asked them was what kind of eggs she liked. And her eggs were whatever their eggs were. So if one guy egg was over easy, that was her favorite egg. And so when he asked her, she didn't even know, because she was a chameleon to everybody she was with. So that when she was by herself, she didn't even know who she was alone, because she was always with somebody. And I think that she knew that wasn't who she really was, which is why when she got to get down the aisle, she would be like, this is not it, because this wasn't even who you were. And at the end of the movie, she tells him what her egg is, that she actually took the time on her own to learn herself and tasted all these eggs to be like, this is my egg. And we don't know how to be alone. We are afraid of being alone.
Absolutely.
And so if some people don't know how to be, who are you by yourself? Who are you without your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Because that's a facade anyway. Because what you see is not what it is most of the time.
No, especially not what's posted.
So who are you really? And do you even know who you are? And I feel like you said, we all been this woman that's been manipulated, because that's where we were. We felt that way. We were broken. We were hurt. We weren't healed. And now that we able to identify and be like, girl, that don't make sense. When one plus a time, that probably was me. You know what I'm saying? So now I can recognize it. But we don't know who we are by ourselves. And social media gives this facade of things that don't exist.
And as I tell people, nobody is a relationship expert. So stop listening to all the relationship coaches.
Girl.
Your relationship is going to be unique to yourself and to that person. There are going to be nuances that only make sense to you and your significant other. But to touch on what you said, after my last relationship, that's why I did an intentional singleness journey, because I felt like every relationship that I was in was chaotic prior to him, because I was, again, minimizing myself to please others. My people pleasing illness, as I call it, was in full effect. So much like Julia Roberts. What he wanted to do, I was doing. I didn't want to be combative. I didn't want to be this. So, turn the other cheek, let this slide, whatever's keeping the peace. But really, I was keeping his peace, but I wasn't at peace. And
you be at war with it like it's wrong.
Yes. And after giving so much of myself to each person, including my ex, and really leaving out broken because I wasn't being fed what I was giving, right? I was like, I need to be single for a while, because I need to be at a place to where I'm not sacrificing my needs to make someone want me.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't take that space to understand what they need, what is a must-have. And when they aren't getting it, they don't walk away. See, I had to get to a place, like you said, where my must-haves are not to be compromised with. But that took me spending time with myself and being single to know who I am, to know what I actually need, and to stop people pleasing, so that I could just have someone here and they could just think they had always had such great things to say about me, but they never met the real me. They met representatives of what they needed.
But here's the thing. I said this the other day. I was like, we don't know people. We know the experiences with them.
Yes.
Because people switch up on you and you be like, wait a minute. And you be like, no, that's really a part of them, but you never tapped into that part of them. And as women, we would camouflage ourselves to accommodate who we were with.
Yeah.
And so when we got to the core of it, we're like, wait a minute, I don't even like eggs. I don't even like this. And
I
here
don't
I
even want to
am,
go here.
you
I hate
know,
going here all
changing
the time.
myself. I'm changing myself. So I'm doing it with ease, but it's literally torture because I'm not being my full self.
Right.
And
You're
so it's
not
like
comfortable.
you're not comfortable. And so
Mm-mm.
I'm so happy that you were able to do that, because taking that step is hard, because being alone, like people, I'm an introvert, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
do spend a lot of time alone, and I get joked about it. I'm like, wait, but I'm not sad. I'm not. One of my close friends said it's sad, and I'm like, sad, dude. I could be in the house all day. COVID was the best thing that happened to me, but let me know I'm in such a good place with that. Now I have friends I can go out with, but it took me a long time to be okay with being by myself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
I think a
and
lot of people are
it come
still
with a
like
cost,
that.
because you got to fight yourself. And so over my
Mm-hmm.
house, I have like words of affirmations and stuff. And a guy friend, he came by just hanging out. He was like, "Why are you talking to yourself in your house like all these words?" I said, "Because I'm by myself here." So because I'm by myself here, I still got to reinforce my positivity, because when you by yourself, your mind goes some places sometimes.
It
And I
does.
was
And
like,
sometimes you
so
gotta proclaim
I gotta
that.
reassure myself of my
Yeah.
worth. And so I talk to myself. Yes, I have affirmations down the hall by the lights in the bathroom to remind myself that I am the shit and I know my worth.
You have to, whether you journal it, whether you say it out loud, whether you
Right.
stare at yourself in the mirror. I mean, and that's one thing that I think people think about, that they misconstrue about being confident. They think that you're always confident.
Heck
And I tell people
no.
all the time, I have my days, I just don't stay in that space,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm constantly reaffirming, even in my lowest levels of thought, that
Right.
I'm worth everything that I say I'm worth. And the moment that I start to believe that I'm unworthy is when I'm going to lose sight of who I am. And you
Right.
have to continuously feed that. It's like a muscle. Confidence is a muscle. If you're not feeding yourself that
Mm-hmm.
nourishment of reaffirming who you are and reaffirming your value and reaffirming your worth, you start to lose sight of it. And then that's when you slip into those dangerous places of depression, anxiety, and imposter syndrome and everything else.
And that's when you're dealing with these guys and you're taking certain
Yes.
things or
And
whatever.
that's why men think that we can fall for words, because they can come in and affirm something in us that we don't even know or believe that we are.
Right.
And these women get sucked up into all of this fluff. And then when the actions don't match, we still haven't left, because we're still attached to those words that we have been told that they think of us, that we don't think of ourselves at all. If you don't think you're
And then we
beautiful,
give them so much power
we
in that,
do. Words
and they don't
have
even know
power.
it. And we're sitting here
Mm-hmm.
struggling with things because of something you said, which could have been a whole line. It could have been a whole gimmick. And here I am changing my whole, okay,
You
he said
so
he
in
liked
love with
red
being
hair. Let me
told
just go
that,
ahead and get this red hair. Like a
right.
hot mess. But he said I look good in red hair. So here I am. No, ma'am. But that's a battle as well, because then you feel like, okay, am I worthy of somebody finding me with the way that I am? And the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
There is somebody for you out there, but it comes with a cost of actually, like you said, taking that time, learning myself, it's hard to be single in the world where everybody don't seem single. But here's the
Yes.
thing. I'd rather be single than be with some stuff that I see. So you telling me that's my alternative? I'm good. I'm good over here. Like if you telling me that's my alternative, then I'm good. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And I'm
We'll
not
be all right.
sad. I'm not lonely. If I want to do stuff, I travel. I spend time with my friends. I spend time, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna sit here and be rockabye babying myself. We're not doing that no more. But once upon a time I was sitting here crying, why you don't want to talk to me? He don't gotta talk to me.
But it's good to go through those phases. Like I tell people, cry if you need to cry. Like, emote, let it out, but then bounce back. You know what I mean? You can't bottle it up and pretend like it doesn't bother you. I tell people all the time, I feel like, at 36 years old, no kids, never been married, I'm the classic poster child that society paints as crazy. Because I'm above a certain age.
You're a lot better than a lot of us, actually.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I say that because imagine the people that are stuck because they have children, are stuck because they have husbands and wives, or because they have property together, or they have things together. Like, people are forced to stay in situations because of that. And you have this freedom. Like we talked about social media, about dating people with young kids. Look, my one daughter is 24. I'm sorry. I don't care about the PTA no more. I don't care about, I don't care about, what I'm saying? I just, and not that I'm not, I wasn't a single mom at one time. I'm just saying I don't want that for myself. I want to be able to be free.
You've transcended. You have the freedom to do you now. And I think that's perfectly okay. And I think people have to be okay with, we all have choices. Right? We all make certain choices. And there is someone that's going to accept us in all that we are.
Right.
If you don't want to date somebody with young kids, you do not have to. You have gone through the mother thing. You don't have to be a mother to everyone. You are not Mother Universe. There are some people who love all kids and don't mind having, that experience over and over and over again.
No, I'm good. It's so funny because I used to work at the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, Parks and Rec. I'm good on kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't knock nobody with kids. I just know that's not something for me anymore. Like, and I'm not mad about that, but that also comes with growth, learning myself. Like, I'm a handful, and I'm so simple. Nah, I'm a handful. But
I can never date somebody like me. I tell people all the time, I'm crazy.
Wait a minute, I thought the same thing about myself.
I don't want another me. People like, why can't I meet somebody like me? I need someone to balance out all of
this craziness going on in my head.
I drive myself crazy some days. I'll be like, I
feel like we're creatives, right? And with that, I wake up in the morning. Am I a photographer today? Am I doing this today? Am I doing that today? And I had to write, okay, so Tuesdays is for this. Wednesdays is for this, because you be like this all the time. And if that's my life with just me, imagine that trying to include somebody with that.
Exactly. And I'm still trying to manage consistency with the list that I make every day, because you have to organize it.
And you always see them post, if you date an entrepreneur, you're going to be their assistant. Oh yeah, you're going to fold these t-shirts. Which you want to go out. I mean,
that's a part of partnership. I think people forget that when you get into a relationship, it should be a friendship. It should be a partnership. It should be inclusive of so many things. You should want your partner to do well while you're with them.
Mm-hmm. Like, so you're going to come fold these shirts. You're going to come fold these shirts.
Yeah, we should believe in each other's dreams to a place where we don't mind rolling up our sleeves and helping you build that dream out.
But people that don't really exist no more in that capacity, because everybody want to get flued out without no work, without
it's a lazy society. There's a laziness in
because
how people build relationships.
To collect data. When you date somebody, you're collecting data on that person. We don't collect no
data.
People
don't even want to really date no more. They want to have sex and then figure out everything after. And then sex changes relationships. I don't care how people want to slice this onion. It shouldn't. It does. The endorphins release,
I don't want no more soul ties. I don't want no more energies on me. I don't want any of that stuff, girl. I dated a guy.
If folks try to act like soul ties aren't real, I'm gonna tell people.
Let me tell you something, okay? I was dating this guy, right? And every time we had sex or whatever, he would leave, and I would have these anxieties that were. And one day, my spirit was just telling me, "They're not yours." What you mean? So you mean this ain't even my stuff? Oh, so let me reevaluate what I'm doing, because I can't be fighting. I'm fighting. I already got my own demons, so I'm fighting your demons and my demons. Oh, we. And then here's the thing: you ain't even being honest about your stuff. So you dealing with stuff you don't even want to tell me about, and I'm discerning it out of you. No, we ain't doing that, dude. We gotta. We're not doing that no more.
People don't understand that though. I tell people, like, everybody you sleep with, you connect with, and some folks got stronger things on them than others. And that anxiety, that overwhelming emotion, that it's real, because you're feeling whatever is transcending through them.
Right.
I don't want a high body count. I don't want to be in here in turmoil and I can't even think straight because I'm always on edge because I'm dealing with everybody else's stuff.
And you don't even know how to deal with it because they don't even know. They don't even know. No, we good on that.
That's a whole other topic.
Yes. So I'm gonna have to bring you back. But I want people to know who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Well, my name is Lorna, Alexis, Lolo for short. I am a conglomerate of a lot of things to me, but most importantly, I'm a girl's girl. I'm a woman's woman that stands on feeding your mind, body, and spirit, through fashion, through wellness, through nuggets of inspiration. So I have PCOS. So System of Curves was derived from my journey through PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And what that really does is attack your femininity. So it was a journey of femininity for me, finding my new way of being a woman, navigating the possibility of having fertility issues, the onset of other illnesses, always being fatigued. I'm blessed that I don't suffer from the hirsutism, the male pattern hair growth on the face as heavy and on the chest, but there are women that have the beards and stuff, and they usually have PCOS. And so finding your pretty is something that's a struggle. So I decided that with my voice and my platform, I was going to always allow women to be inspired by me pushing through that. So if they could relate, that they could still feel beautiful too, inside and out. And on the worst days, find something happy to reaffirm in themselves. And that kind of just transformed into so many different things.
Because I tried to figure out how I met you, which I feel like it was because of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, either I either met you at a show I was doing.
Yes, because I used to model. I used to help behind the scenes. I know you used to. I think it was what fashion show was it? Because you've done several. I've seen you in so many different sets.
I did
shirts and the skirts.
I did Curves Rock.
You did do Curves Rock.
I did. I premiered at Curves Rock, actually. I premiered at my very first official fashion show was Curves Rock. It was my birthday.
That was my very first one to attend. And I remember
and then,
the tease. Then
I did Full Figure Fashion Week.
I saw that.
2018. And so I was like, how do I know her? And then I didn't ever quit the two, that your Facebook and your Instagram, I never, until I was like, wait a minute. I already follow her. Like, I've been following her for a long time. Like, it was really crazy to me because I adore you. So what made you decide to tell people about what you were going through? Like, did something happen? Because, people are judgmental. And so I know it was a process because people think that everybody that's plus size is unhealthy and we just need to lose weight.
And that's a myth.
That's not how it works all the time.
It's not. And that's what led me to speak out about it. Once I became a model, and I know this is going to sound bad, but I was always told that I was pretty for a big girl, but I wasn't at that time. Because I started modeling a while ago, I wasn't within the sample sizes that plus size models needed to be in, which was a size 10 to 14. Anything above that was kind of steering towards obese. And when I entered modeling, I was an 18-20, so I was already above the sample sizes. And everywhere I was going, it was, a lot of critique about my body, or because I have what they call the cystic fupa. A lot of women have fupa, but when people look at me, they're like, wow, you're kind of small everywhere, but this one area of your stomach. And it started to get to me. Mm-hmm. But then I was just like, you know what? There are more women out here I know suffering from what I go through with just body dysmorphia and being ridiculed, or, we won't even put it all on the fashion industry. Men with their assumptions of, oh, you must just lay around, eat a lot. The
sloppy,
the closet BBW lovers, right? And then when you reject them, you're fat and all of these other things. So it made me want to speak out, to break the stereotype that all big women are not health conscious, because I'm excessively health conscious, and to have standards. I'm like, no, you're not gonna love me in the dark. You're not gonna date me in the dark. If I choose to want to have sex, that's on my choice, but it won't be out of desperation of feeling like I'm not attractive enough to be spoiled and wined and dined and flued out and taken everywhere. So I just started
worthy of all of that. And we are capable of all of it if we haven't done it already. So that means nothing.
So it made me want to speak out just from the health standpoint. And then also talking to other models, when I did start speaking about PCOS, the Me Too, but they felt ashamed, like, I really can't get pregnant with my husband and it's hurting me. The doctors aren't really saying much. And because I'm a nerd, I had been researching so much about the condition. I was like, I need to speak about it more. And I just need to be a beacon of light. Girl, get out here and be fabulous. Like, you have one life. Mm-hmm. Do not let this one area of your life change how you just present yourself publicly. Right. You know, you shouldn't wear a badge of shame if you can't, you know, be a natural mom, or if you have to go through IVF, or if you have to freeze eggs and do other methods to become a mother. It doesn't define your womanhood. So all of that kind of played a part. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be open about it. You know, I'll be vulnerable because someone needs to hear it. Someone needs to know that it's okay. Somebody needs to see that you can still be happy. Right. And all those things. So that's
because, you know, what we go through is our issues are other people's preventative maintenance. Like, I'm doing this so you don't have to go through it. But it's almost like, you know, but they have to see it. Like, people react on action. Okay, so she has this. Look at her. She's doing this. She has this many followers. Because I saw your stuff. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know I saw you in a couple of campaigns. And I was like, you know,
back in my prime, in my time.
And so I was looking, I was like, wow, you know, but that really gives people, you know, because it might be somebody, because at the end of the day, you're planting the seed. And even when you plant the seed, okay, it's not gonna grow right now, but this person might see you right now, and then 3 weeks from now, I'm like, wait a minute, there's a girl who has this, a woman who has this, and is this person, and is able to do this, and has this mindset. You're kind of curating that over time. Yes, by being a force and by being a light. And I think that people need to do that more, because, you know, silence is deadly. It's deadly. Like, keeping stuff quiet, it's definitely not the best way. And I'm not saying you have to necessarily come out. You know, people don't want to tell everybody's business. You know, you want to tell all your business, but some stuff needs to be told, because there's somebody who needs to know that, hey, I have this. And guess what? Look how I am flourishing. Look how I'm still being flowed out. I'm still being respected. I'm still in a happy relationship. I might have to adopt. I might have to do this over here. But guess what? Doesn't mean I'm not a woman. Doesn't mean I'm not successful or healthy or happy. Like, it doesn't mean that stuff is not, it's not obtainable. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things are possible. You can have these things. You can, you know, you can see these things. So I appreciate you so much for that. Like, so what has been your greatest I guess, resistance? Has anybody like poked back at you, made you feel like it wasn't worth pursuing? Or
all the time. And I think that that's what sometimes people fail to realize, that just because, you know, I know I'm pretty, right? Okay. Doesn't mean that I don't go through the same scrutiny behind closed doors of men still trying to love me in private, or side chick me, or think that I'm easier to obtain because I'm not society's beauty standard. I have gone through it my entire life. And where once I felt like all I could get was a certain type of attention, because I don't, you know, burn the schoolhouse down. I understand that transition from not having confidence to becoming resilient. When I was in my early years, you know, I would have guys be like, well, I've never been with a big girl before. Like, and I feel like that makes you feel like a zoo animal or an exhibit.
So is this like a secret goal of yours?
Right. Kind of like, and it's just like, I'm not an alien. I'm not a zoo exhibit. Like, I'm a human like everybody else. I'm just in a larger body. Right. Don't treat me like I'm the exception, or I should be honored that you pay attention to me because
you like me, that smaller. You are like, you don't know who I am. Like,
right.
You don't know who I am.
Right.
Like,
so, like, you know, every time I reject somebody, it's, well, you know, you a little bit big. I had a guy, actually, the most recent situation was last year. I was talking to a guy down in Richmond. Okay. Was it Richmond? Somewhere near, no, it wasn't Richmond. What is that beach in Virginia? I forget the name of it all the time. It's not Virginia Beach. It's near Norfolk. Either way.
Like, and if you mean like Ocean View?
Yeah, over there near there.
Okay.
Yeah, over there. And the moment that I was like, yeah, you know, this is not gonna work for me, I'm done. Girl, big backed, all the insults you could call a big girl, came out. And I was just like, man, I remember back if I was like 19, 20, this would have crushed my spirit. But I was just looking like, you're real weird to even think that that's the best you have. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to say. Like, of all things, I'm more offended when people insult my intelligence than intelligence.
That'd be the part. Like, that'd be the part. Like, that's the
part. I don't care about you calling me fat. Like, boy, what? Like, that's dumb.
It's not stopping me from anything. It's not stopping anything.
It's not stopping nothing. That for every you're fat, there's a million I want to marry you men out here. They just ain't put in the work yet. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, we gotta go through the process of weaning out the other girls who just don't, you know. And I feel like I said earlier, if I gotta wait a little bit longer, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna be pursued the same way you would pursue anyone. I tell men this all the time. I'm not no easy little situation. Now, if I choose to be easy because I'm just in the mood, that's one thing.
I'm choosing to be easy today. I'm
choosing to be easy today. But you're gonna court me like you would court anybody else, and I know that that's led to my singleness because I've had men hit me like, "Oh, I'm used to more attention." I said, "No, you're used to people who are needy." For validation. I'm not that. If you want my attention, then you will be consistent and set something up. I'm not going to ping you and call you and text you all day and make you feel like you're the king tut. You ain't did nothing. Have you taken me out?
So wait a minute. So I was talking to this guy, right? In the beginning, it's FaceTime and stuff, and kind of on the end of COVID. And I had COVID when it first came, so I had it heavy for 3 months. And so I ain't really rushing.
The first wave.
I had the first wave when they told me to go home and just rough it out. They ain't had no solutions or nothing.
Yeah, they just didn't know what to do with you.
Right. Just go home. I said,
no vaccine, no nothing.
That's it. Just go home. Okay, I'm going home. And so I was not really rushing to be around anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a lot. And we FaceTime and it was consistent, but just at that time, all we really could do is that. But I felt the shift. You won't really FaceTiming all the time. You won't really texting all the time. And you not fitting a good morning me to death. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
So now I'm getting to this good morning thing, right? And I woke up one day and I was like, you know what?
You wasn't feeling it.
I know what I want for myself. And as long as I entertain what's not for me, I'm prolonging my guy who is on the way. So let me just block. I'm good to block somebody and not look back, when you're gone. And so I get a good morning from him. And I said, LOL. He said, what's so funny? I said, I thought I blocked you. Let me go ahead and turn this bubble to green. Hold on. And I blocked him. You playing games. And somewhere this is okay.
And somewhere it is. There is a place.
And that's fine. It's not okay.
That's fine. I tell people all the time, like, that's okay. And what trips men up with me is that once I don't care, I don't care. And I don't come back into caring because my attention span is short. Like I'm not riding and dying through your inconsistency or your uncertainty.
So that ride or die thing is so old and outdated. That's an old, outdated system. That's an old.
But what they don't understand is to get someone to ride or die.
I'm not riding and dying. The minute you act crazy, I am hopping off as soon as I possibly. I might hop off while it's rolling. I might just do a duck and roll and be gone. You're not gonna get me.
Those women were well cared for before they even decided they were sticking beside something. Folks want you to sit through their trauma. I saw a video today about a guy talking about he likes dating younger women because they're malleable. We got to deal with stuff like this. Like
what?
Yeah, they give grace. Well, at a certain age, you shouldn't be doing the same stuff you was doing at 22.
And for me, I know what I've been through as a woman by myself.
Right.
My daughter's father passed away when she was like 13, 14. So I spent for the next however many years, because she's 24 now, raising her by myself as a single woman. Mm-hmm. My daughter is amazing. Even stuff I did with my business. So as a woman, I've already went through so much. You can't come at me crazy. And It's not even a situation of I'm a man. As a woman, I did all this stuff on my own. So you have to have you have to meet my minimum. You have to meet me. And if you can't, it's not about what clothes you wear, because you spending money on clothes, and that does not impress me.
First of all, half the scammers are gonna invest in some clothes.
But what I'm saying is it even real? But we're gonna talk about
we're not gonna get into that's a whole nother discussion because
when you buy real, you know when it's not real. But that's you don't want to embarrass nobody. But at the core of it, you know, where I'm at. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to sacrifice myself. Mm-hmm. You know, knowing what I've been through, and you know, I have personal standards for myself. We all have our list of things for ourselves that no one knows about. And whenever I go against that list that no one knows about, I get burnt. So you're burning me, and you don't even know it. We're not doing that no more. No, we're not doing that no more. We're not doing that no more. So what is coming up for you? Like what's new for you? Like what's your next move? Because the plus size community is different. The plus size community is different.
So different now. And I hand clap that because I feel like it was people like me and others that continued to find their lane to create attention that inclusivity needed to happen.
Okay.
Other body types, other body sizes, complexions and all. Because when I tell you, when I started, I was like, God, I don't even know if you want me on this mission because it looks like there's no room, but you create your room and
make your room. Because here's the thing, right? When you get to the top of the mountain, you think that there's space for everybody.
There really is. That's why I tell people it's no need to compete. Like this is
never. Go to the library. The library got floors of books.
Right.
Whole sections about, you know, arts and crafts. You know, being a lawyer, you know, empowerment. People not. I love Joyce Meyer. That chick write a book every month. But you think that's stopping her from thinking about Joel Osteen and his books? No, it's not stopping her. She's still gonna go, you know, whatever.
She's still gonna write her book.
Right. So if you think about it, the last time I checked, it was like 340 million people in the United States, right? So if I got 1% and you got 1% at $20 per item, are we really gonna be bad? Because when you really, really, really make a lot of money, a lot of it you don't even see or touch. So it's like you get up there and it's actually space for everybody. We just feel like, oh no, they can't go. Everybody can go. Everybody can go.
Everybody can go in their lane.
In their own lane.
They're focused. Right. When they're focused. For me, I just got a partnership with Amazon. So we're gonna see how that plays out. That's definitely some big things happening. We're gonna see how that goes in the influencing space.
Okay.
And you know, just some other brand deals are coming up, and I am going to like press in onto my YouTube more to speak more about PCOS and other things. So that's starting up in the fall, and just really kind of, you know, see what 2023 brings. Like I'm going to hone in on this Amazon piece because Amazon be paying folks. Okay.
But see, that's the thing that comes with a different. But see, that comes with a different level of skill and experience, and people don't want to admit like they get these other things, and I'm like, yeah, like you not where you think you are based on where you know, like it's way bigger than what you see, what you allow yourself to
it's
see.
Really way bigger. And I tell people all the time, you know, with the influencing space, views and stuff only get you paid on YouTube. The way TikTok and Instagram, like they tantalize us, right? But those reels, they're not paying like they supposed to be paying. And a good girlfriend of mine said that on Instagram the other day. Like it's your brand partnerships and relationships that you build where they pay you to post. Sure. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of people are trying to go viral. I'm like, that viral post ain't making what y'all think it's going to make.
But first of all, people are not even ready for what that brings.
And that brings a lot.
That brings another set of, first of all, you have to be strong.
Yes.
Because everybody's not for you. And if you're not used to hearing negative, people will find anything. Like I said, it allowed people the audacity to be bullies and to say and to be reckless. And if you are not prepared for that, that viral moment could have you in the corner crying, going crazy, wishing you never posted it.
Right, wishing you never posted it, but on top of that,
you got to be careful what you ask for because it comes. everything comes with a cost.
It
Everything comes with a
does.
cost.
And the thing is, you not only that is you don't want to get addicted to doing anything for attention, because a lot of times people go viral one time and they're trying to create just anything to do it again. And it's like you want to still maintain a sense of self and quality when you start doing and moving in these spaces on social networks and media. And I see a lot of people lose themselves trying to get liked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, but you're not even true to who your brand is and what you're about. I always say authenticity is going to continue to build the foundation.
Okay.
You will never go out of style when you're authentic. It's never going to lose its value when you are authentically you.
And I'm happy you said that, because that was one of the reasons why I brought my show back. And when I went to my YouTube thing, and I was a YouTuber in 2010 when nobody wasn't.
And that's what I'm saying. And you see where they are today.
And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all know that we didn't have camera phones. I had an actual digital camera that I had to walk around with and turn it.
Oh no, you
faded
around. Out. Somebody must be trying to do something.
What happened? You good? What happened? What'd you say? Oh no, lose her. Hold on 1 second.
She's popping back on, y'all. She's popping back on. Thank y'all for this question. Is there? And I wish I could scroll. She probably gonna have to scroll up. I see some questions.
Okay, we got questions. Okay, on here.
Well, just I think I see one. But anyway, I don't know why you faded out.
So what I was saying was, I had the digital camera. Had to walk around with the camera with the SIM card, go home, take the SIM card out. I had Adobe Premiere, which is the editing software, edit the stuff, and then load it to YouTube at night because it took so long. Because I didn't have the
back in the day, it took hours to upload.
And so people talk about the other thing. I'm like, no, I'm from the beginning. Like I was around when y'all didn't have phones with cameras.
Yeah,
we didn't have phones with color screens. We didn't have phones with color screens. We had that double tapping to get the A/B. And so I feel like because people they don't have to work as hard, they don't appreciate it as much because it's easier for them. But
absolutely, that's why we have an influx of podcasts of people who shouldn't share their think pieces. I'm not going to be judgmental, but everybody can do everything so swiftly. But again, quality and authenticity is what creates the audience and the longevity.
You're right.
A lot of people lose that because they want to do what's sensational, right? They want to add things for shock value.
Okay.
But at some point that fades. Yeah.
So before we wrap this up, because I didn't want it to be long, I have my bowl.
Okay.
With my questions. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions now. They're all pre-written questions, but I don't know what I'm gonna pick out for you. So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, and before we end it off, you get to ask me anything that you would like to know about me. Okay. So your first question is have you ever peed in the pool?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think as children, that's a default. I wasn't getting out the pool to go to the bathroom and peel off a wet.
So when you peed in the pool, did you stay in the same spot? Did you pee and move?
No, you got to move around. You can't stay in the same spot because the yellow is still there. So you got to pretend like.
But so now they got the toxin in the water that it changes the water when you pee. That's a real thing.
Yeah. So you got to run away. You can't just stay. That's just like farting in public and standing in the funk on the aisle in the grocery store. No, you got to walk.
You got to walk away from that thing fast.
You got to walk by yuck, like you ain't do it. And keep going oh, God, I don't know what happened.
Your next question. What is your favorite animal beginning with the A?
An animal with an A?
Yes.
I don't even know no animals that start with an A other than ape. And I don't like apes.
Alligators?
No. No. No, definitely not that. A?
Yes.
This is sad because I'm very educated, but I don't know no animal with no A. Dang. Is there a type of dog that starts with an A?
I don't even know. So I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna let you go on that. I'm gonna give you another one. I'm gonna give you two more.
Yeah, because I don't know what.
Have you ever secretly, as a child, stole money from your parents' purse?
No, because my mom was hard up and tight for money. I would have got my ass beat. So no.
Okay.
No.
And the last one. Where does prune juice come from if prunes are dried plums?
I mean,
I'm going to say it again. Where does prune juice come from if prunes are dried plums?
I want to know did you open Laffy Taffy for that? Because they be having little questions in there.
I have curated these questions. I think I did that more than I worked on my topics because I just feel like these podcasts be so serious. They be talking about nothing a lot of the times.
Where does prune juice come from?
It comes from dried plum, but if they're dried, how are they getting juice to make the prune juice?
Let me know. What's the answer? Because I feel like
I'm asking you.
I feel like that's like one of the last.
I don't even know. I'm asking you.
I have no idea other than it being squished down.
I feel like maybe in that process, in the drying out process, they maybe drain them in the drying out process. That
possibly prune juice is nasty though.
I don't mess with it, but I love a good plum though.
If I'll tear a plum up.
I'll tear a plum up. A black plum?
Juice, though. I don't know, because it definitely gets the booty going. So I'm not trying to be on the prune juice.
Well, I want to thank you for the time. I want to apologize to all of we have people on YouTube. It's questions everywhere. We are learning the process. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be back.
Yes, I'm happy you are back because we need
I'm so happy to be back. I will tell my story at some point in time about how I got here, but it's time. I'm excited about it. Thank you for... Somebody said they rehydrate them, like put them in a pot with water. Okay, so Jamie from Facebook says they rehydrate them, like put them in a pot with water?
Probably, and boil them down. I could see that happening. Honestly, I could see that being how they did.
Now I have to find a video. I have to find a video. Now
I'm interested. Like now when I get off, I'm gonna have to look that up. And an animal with an A that actually. And an animal with an
A. Jamie said a dog.
And that would be my answer because I have a dog. It would be a dog, like small, a 15-pound or less dog at that. Something that fits in a purse.
But thank you. I appreciate you. I knew that I wanted you to be my first person. I think that you are.
I feel so honored to be like, the inaugural person.
Yes, because I'm gonna have you come back, of course. I'm
always welcome.
I definitely want you because we are, some of the topics will be down the line, dating someone plus size, what that looks like, what we deal with behind the scenes. And it's not with like a bitch session, it's about the shit that we really experience. Like people be taking us like I ain't taking no scraps. Like we're not doing that no more.
And they always think you want to go eat. Like you could take me somewhere else, King. Like I don't have to eat.
Right. I'll go for a walk.
Like I really am a person that likes just other stuff. Right. I mean, now I like food. But we could absolutely go to laser tag and I can have the time of my life.
Go bowling and stuff. Other things we could possibly do with it. So that's why. So I definitely, when I have that show, I want you to come back on. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, just where you have come and like I'm just mad at myself for not putting the two together soon. I was like, wait a minute.
It's okay because I think people forget, and that's fine. Like, wait a minute, I've gotten that more than once. I've gotten that more than once. They're like, "You the same person," and I think it's because my personality doesn't fit what most people experience with influencers or people who have a larger following on one of the platforms. Mm-hmm. I still consider myself a girl next door. Like, I literally don't think I'm special. And that's not a negative thing. It's just that I've always told God, like, I don't care how far you take me up the mountain, I'm still the same girl that's gonna go into 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee and a buffalo chicken roll.
Girl,
roll up. Like, I'm not
from Brooklyn.
changing.
I love me a good snack cake. Okay. Every time I go to New York, I get me some Linden cookies. I'm like, yo, I need some Lindens. I need those. Like, I need that. Like, but right. I'm happy to know that. I'm happy to have you up here. Like, I'm just excited for you. I'm excited for your Amazon thing and things coming down the pipeline. I think 2023 is going to be awesome. People need to follow you. It's System of Curves. System of Curves on all platforms. On Instagram, Facebook. Your blog traffic is systemofcurves.com, which is CYSTUMOFCURVES.com. Yes. Oh, wait, wait a minute. Somebody looked it up. Prune juice is the fruit juice. Is that derived? I feel like I'm stupid right now. Derived from prunes.
I think it's derived. I can't see it.
Prune juice is a fruit juice derived from prunes, dried plums that have been dehydrated, so they were correct. It is a mass-produced product that is often produced using a hot extraction method, and juice concentrate is typically produced using a low-temperature extraction method. Yeah, we thank you, Jamie, because let me tell you something. I'm not drinking prune juice, so I'm good on that.
I mean, I'll drink it when
But thank you so much for the information. We appreciate you.
We need that. Prune juice is good.
Oh, and so Dr. Courtney said it's a hidden hurt. There's a lot of. I think I'm gonna have to learn how to. They do both because there's a lot of comments up here. Some people think that we're ignoring them because people were really like engaging. But I'm learning because I'm like.
Your first episode. She know you not. She know.
Don't worry. I'm gonna get it right. Don't be like, I'm getting all these questions from all these different sources. But I want people to follow you, support you. If I could do anything to help along their journey, I cannot wait to have you back. Thank you for being patient with me as we process this thing. I'm excited. And so before we sign off, what is one thing you want to ask me about me?
Because I've been following you for a while. Are we going to get a revamp of the fashion? Are we going to get more tees, different tees? Because, I still have my sucker free tee, honey. I remember the tees. Are we going to get a revamp of it? I remember when you were shutting shop down to a degree.
I haven't done any revamps. I have some coming in the pipeline, but if I could be all honest, God is not really allowing me to tap into that until I pursue something else, which is this. Like, I have a story that needs to be told now. And I think I've been kind of sitting on it for a long time. And it kind of put me in the corner and was like, so we're not going to allow nothing else until you do this. And I was
sometimes God has to do that. He got to shut every door so that you walk through the one he told you to walk through.
I was like, dude,
years ago, months ago, a day ago.
And if I tell you how often my daughter, and I'll be honest with you. So, I have Fashion Snob, and down the line, I'll tell what happened with that. But my daughter came to me one day and she was like, Mom, I think you hide behind Fashion Snob. And I was like, why do you say that? She was like, because no one sees you anymore. I remember you doing TV. I had TV. I did podcasts. I had radio. I was out there. I was one of the first content creators. I was at events. Like, I was doing hosting. I was doing all of that. And then life happened, breakups, this sadness, weight gain. Like, life happens hard.
Life hits hard.
And it affected my self-esteem. And so I didn't want to be seen. Like, I was afraid for people to see me, And then when I sat and watched my other episodes, I was bigger then. Like, I was bigger when I did Who Digs Me the first time. Like, I was like, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, but life happened so hard. It almost broke me. And I was like, okay, you should do this. You should go back on air. And I'm like, I don't really want to, I'm not ready for nobody to see me because I know what this it's easy, but it come with a cost. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And literally God put me in a place where this is all I could do. Like, this is literally like all I could do. And I was like, here we go. And then stuff started happening. Every time I would push forward, I'd be like, but you were always the person. Like, I literally wrote your name, and I was like, I have to have her. She has to be first. And the thing about it was, you almost wasn't first. I was gonna go against my grain and go with somebody else, right? And when I tell the thing trickled back on me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with what I felt the first time, because sometimes you question yourself when you like,
I
know
question
I
myself
want
all the
her.
time.
Like, I know I want her to do, like, I don't know why, but I want her to be the first one. Like, I literally had it written down before I even had a layout. I said, I'm gonna inbox her. I'm gonna just inbox her before I even have the template, before I have the email, before I have anything set up. I'm just gonna hit her up. And you said okay when I first asked you for a while back. And so when it came back around, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick to the course, stick to who I already have, the people that God are leading on my heart to reach out to hear their stories, because we're helping people. And if we don't say anything, here's the thing I know before I go. God doesn't, when God gives you an idea, and you don't do it, it doesn't die. It goes to somebody else. Like, you think that the dream is dead. The dream don't die with you. It go to somebody else. And then you look up and be like, I had that idea. God gave it to you because he wanted you to do it, because he knew how you were going to do it. But if you're not going to do it, I'm going to go over here and get whoever this is. They may not give me the same passion, the same creativity, the same skill set, but they'll get it done. So you look up and be like, they took my idea. No, you fumbled the bag on your own idea.
That needs to be a whole episode in and of itself, is fumbling your own bag and then being mad when you see it play out loud and work.
Regret hurts more than anything.
Than failure.
You sit there and be like, I had that idea and God gave it to you, but because I was broke, because I was sad, because I didn't have the money, because I didn't have the support, I didn't do it. And I look up and somebody did it, and you feel like it's no point now. It's no point, because you won't even feel confident about doing it, because even though you came up with it first, it don't appear that way.
Right.
So now you kind of sitting on it angry. Now we're not sitting angry no more. And I was like, if you got to tell me I've been at this spot all these times and you keep bringing back to the same spot, let me get this link together and call this girl and get let me get these emails popping. Let me, you know what I'm saying? And then I couldn't get my nails done, and then I couldn't get my hair done. I was like, if I keep waiting for stuff, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep pushing it back. So let me go ahead and slick this thing. My barber cut my hair, put my little clear things on, because you want presentation. You're gonna get this presentation. This what you're gonna get. And we had a good time, and I thank you so much for that. And I'm definitely gonna have you back on for sure. I appreciate you. I think that people definitely love. Somebody did a post on that. Okay, we got a lot of people up here, so I'm definitely gonna do better.
I'm very happy about that, because I love when I connect with people who also push that same light and that positive energy. I think
because know what, you have to.
You have to. It's so many people who want to make people feel bad about their process. And they get on these public platforms and they want to just ridicule and make people feel horrible about not being perfect or having struggles or making the mistakes. And I think that there's so much room to continue to build up women and men by being authentic in your walk and authentic in who you are, and still, not being a force to be reckoned with and played with, but the authenticity and the building of sisterhood. I talk about this all the time, and it's something I had to grow to learn as well, because I was from the whole university of Black women don't get along. That's what I was pumped with coming up. Like, we can't be sisters, we can't support, jealousy, envy, woo woo. I don't prescribe to that.
But here's the thing. I have brothers. I didn't have any sisters. So I didn't grow up with that khaki. I didn't grow up with that khaki. I didn't grow up with that stuff. And so when I experienced, I'd be like, what's going on over here? Like, what y'all talking about? Like, this is not crazy. But same thing. People are easy. People have not learned the art of communication. And so a lot of things could be discussed by communication.
The art of comprehension too.
Because here's the thing.
A lot of people say a lot of things well, but they do not comprehend a voice outside of themselves.
Nope.
All they want to do is hear themselves speak.
No, and then you're not even saying anything. Because
No.
I always tell the time, you can be everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Honestly. And
You
that's
could
why
be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And people don't understand that. And I feel like that was me once. And I don't judge anybody that's there now. But when you gonna get it? Like what's the light bulb? Like when the light bulb gonna go off? Because at the core of it, you're not even living your best self. And
Girl.
I had a glimpse of what that feel like. I had a glimpse of it, right? And once you experience it, you chasing that high of that peace, of that healthiness of not. Now you're able to recognize people are toxic and they crazy and they full of it. You recognize it because for one, it was you before, and because you healed from it, you can look at it and be like, wait a minute, that ain't right.
Exactly. I remember when I didn't know how to show up as a good friend to people. You know what I'm saying?
Girl,
Like
I had to
know
apologize to
what
somebody
it's
other day
like.
for that. That's good. That's a good topic too.
Yeah, I know what it's like. True loneliness is when you don't have support. I'm not even talking about support from an intimate relationship with a man. When you turn around and you're at rock bottom and no one's there because you were the chaos in so many people's lives by your inability to communicate and comprehend feelings outside of yourself. I've been there. Like I tell people, I don't even go into verbal lashings anymore because I don't want to add to my sins and I don't want to create a break in you that you have to heal from that may take you X amount of time. Right. I don't want that on my heart. So before I get ugly, I walk away. And it's not me avoiding conflict, but I'm not going to allow you to bring me to a place to break you and to relive a side of myself that had me broken. Right. And alone. You know, a lot of people don't understand that once you, like you said, that high of peace, but also wanting to maintain stability around you will prevent you from
healthy, because you can have a toxic relationship and then not be your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You can have a toxic friendship.
I had so many toxic friendships. Girl. I had so many toxic friendships from the space of just me people pleasing and feeling like I had to buy everybody around me. It got to a place where everything around me was transact. Girl, we get into a whole nother topic, but everything, every relationship you had was transactional.
But what's funny that you say that, because I agree with you 100%. There was like 2 years ago, I finally stopped people pleasing. And first of all, what that did was that made me, that I became toxic within myself because I held so much stuff in by not speaking my mind, right? And so now I'm sitting here, an introvert, not scared to speak my mind, but thinking that's the best option. But I'm just keeping it all in and I'm making my own self sick. And so now I'm healing from this, and I decide to tell everybody about these moments that they did to make me feel this way. I lost 4 friends. Well, people that I thought were friends.
Girl, my
sister was like, you're the common denominator. I said, I don't feel bad because I'm standing on what's right now. It's not about being the cool digs. This is what it is. And if that means you don't be my friend, that means, I guess what? Quality over quantity every time. Every time.
And I tell people pleasing comes from a space of not feeling good enough at just existing in who you are.
I felt being bullied as a kid. Like all that stuff plays a factor in your adult life. That stuff carries over into your adulthood.
It does. And I had an insecurity that I wasn't enough just being. Like just being born and existing wasn't enough. So I felt like I had to prove that I was a good woman. Right. Prove that I was a good friend. Prove that I was a good sibling. Gift, give, money, any way I could show up. And people depended on my showing up, but they did not have room to show up for me. I was tapping myself to a level of emptiness and sadness each and every time because I'm like, well, God, I'm showing them I'm a good person. I'm always there for them. I'm always there for them. But it was coming from a space of not standing firm and believing that I was enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should love me for just me. Just me being here. I shouldn't have to do something for you every time for you to want to be around me.
But then when you say no, and when you finally stand, when you finally stand on that, but when you stand on that and you say no, what's wrong with you?
Right. Now
I'm good on that. Like and like the same thing with relationships. So if this means I only got 3 friends opposed to 5 friends, I'm good on the 3 friends. My phone might be dry, but the peace of mind that I have, I don't have to worry about your intentions when you're around me. I don't have to question or be mindful about what I say or about what I show you about your energy, because people don't understand that stuff is real. I can go on topics and topics of times when I knew people that are around me, it was more people not wanting me to win, that their energy superseded my own. And here I am, can't figure out why I'm fighting so hard. I'm fighting so hard because none of y'all want me to succeed. Like, and I'm
know, a lot of people, again, yes. And you have to know who's really for you. And sometimes it seems like you only got 3 people, but God has to make room to replace and replenish. I had to learn that too. The moment that certain things started leaving my life, my discernment became clear that there were people sitting around me just waiting on me to see them, to see how they wanted to support me. But I was blocked by so much negativity because I was feeding all these other relationships that were going to produce no fruit.
Girl,
it's a process though.
Right.
It is such a process. But
at the end of it, it's worth it. It's worth it at the end of it.
Oh yeah, it is worth it. I've been my happiest. It's been some sad moments of doing the apology tour of like, all right, well, you gotta go. You know, there's some folks I'm just like, let me just block, or I've just distanced myself from.
You said you said you were sorry, girl. I didn't do all that. I just blocked.
Oh no, I didn't say sorry to them. I'm just like, sorry, you gotta go to me. Like, I'm like, this has to go because I can't have this in my space anymore. I've had to distance people. I've had to just block. We are not having a discussion because not everything is worth having a discussion for, because some people they want you to continue to fight so that they can come manipulate you into giving them another chance. And sometimes you just gotta be at enough, you know. But I've been
because I have a show coming up called Give People a Second Chance, Not a Third. And I was like, some people don't even get a second chance. And, you know, because, you know, when you get older, it's like, so you ain't figured that out. Now I'm 44. Like, what are we talking about now? Like, when you get to that point, like you say, you go through this process of enjoying becoming single, feeling what that looks like, knowing what that looks like, knowing what you like about yourself, and taking that time, however long or short that is, you now are like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. And it's easier for you now. And you don't feel bad about it. And you shouldn't.
Oh, no.
You are fly as hell.
Thank you. You know, I try, but I tell people flyness is from the spirit. You can adorn yourself with everything on the outside and look good and not be well. I've been there, done that too. Okay.
People think that because you have money that you're good. I'm like,
if that were the case, people wouldn't be suicidal at the top. There's always a trade-off. Like, your spirit cannot be bought through stuff, right?
It comes with a cost.
Yeah, it comes with a cost. You can't just, I could be sitting on millions and still not be well inside and happy. So,
and be broke and be happy. I remember one summer I was unemployed. Let me tell you something. That was the best summer ever. You hear me? I don't know how many things we did, but we had a good time. But I want to thank you again. We are at our time. I appreciate you, Miss Lorna. I thank you so much. Again, follow her on System of Curves. It's CYSTUM of curves.com on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and .com for your website. I appreciate you so much. I'm definitely going to have you back when I got it more control of all these sites and people talking and stuff like that. But thank you so much. You guys have a good night, and I thank you for tuning in to Who Digs Me? Fuck around and find out. Either you dig it or you don't. Ooh-wee. Bye.
Bye.